Hey guys, Jade E. Wilder here for your daily tarot reading. Nice to see you today. I hope that this day is treating you well. Oh, I always forget. My makeshift setup is makeshift, and for the time being I'm going to shuffle on my lap. Oh, so I feel very... How do I feel today? I feel good. I feel that there were some unexpected things that happened this morning, but it wasn't anything I couldn't handle. And I think that I maybe got tripped up in Eight of Swords energy in the beginning of this morning, and then I was able to gain clarity. And I feel that that is a part of what my spirit guides want to share today, is related to gaining clarity. So I don't know if there's something you're working through in your waking life that is a little confusing or a little muddy, but my hope is to provide clarity. So spirit guides are the highest truth and compassion. What is it that this beautiful collective of individuals needs to hear today to gain clarity in their situation for the highest good of all? Thank you. It's kind of funny, the vacuum, someone is vacuuming in the hallway, and I feel like that is just a confirmation of cleaning up something in your life, maybe. All right, bottom of the deck. Whoa, look at that. 9 of Pentacles. That's great. I love to see it. The 9 of Pentacles. The 9 of Pentacles is all about... I want to say it's the ultimate card of self-care, but it's more than that. As always, it's more than that. It's really working from self. Like, look at all the yellow on this card. Yellow is symbolic of the solar plexus chakra, which we had been working through last week. The solar plexus chakra holds all of the keys to our self-actualization, our confidence, our authenticity, the core of who we are, essentially. And so that tells me that this is energy that you have moved through, worked through, are embracing at this time, or are consciously, it's on your mind to look at something differently than you have before. And the reason I say that is because we've been pulling a lot of swords lately, okay? We've been pulling a lot of swords lately. And right underneath the 9 of Pentacles was the 3 of Swords. So yes, we've been doing a lot of the healing work, haven't we? So that's exciting. That's really amazing. I love that energy. Okay, so let's see what we got here. In your conscious mind. Wow, we have the 3 of Cups in your conscious mind. And we have another 3. In your unconscious, we have the 3 of Wands. And your overall energy is the Hermit. The first thing that I'm drawn to today... Oh, and I just realized that the Hermit... So, the number up here is 9. And the number on this card is 9. So we have 2 9s. The closing of cycles. Perhaps you have just closed a cycle. Congratulations, that's amazing. The thing that stands out to me is the star. And I'm being guided to say Gandalf vibes. Gandalf vibes, Merlin vibes. What do those characters mean to you is what I'm being guided to ask you. What do those characters symbolize to you? I feel that I'm tapping into some heavy energy of Lord of the Rings fans. And kind of medieval lore fans, or just lore fans in general. So what do those characters mean to you? What do they embody? And how do you see those aspects coming out in your life is what I am being guided to ask you. So Gandalf, to me, I'm just gonna, let's see here. Now, I'm not like the biggest Lord of the Rings person in the world, okay? But from what I know of what I've read, which is The Hobbit, and I cannot get past the first book of The Lord of the Rings because chapter 10, The Council of Elrond, is just, it kind of just is a bit dense. And I suppose I'm ready to understand more of the adventure piece. But I did love The Hobbit. I love reading that. I read that when I was pregnant, and it was really, really awesome. So, and the movies. I've seen the movies, okay? So Gandalf, to me, represents kind of the epitome of wise counsel. He knows what needs to be done, even if what needs to be done is not going to make people happy. And he's always kind of looking towards the future, because as like the wise leader with magical powers and being more embodied in the like light energy versus like dark energy, he sees the big picture. He sees the future of Middle Earth, and he acts in divine timing. Like, he shows up as he's meant to, right? He says something like that, like, a wizard is never late, a wizard is never early. He shows up precisely when he means to. And I think this is energy that you are moving through right now is, you know, what happens in my life is never late, it's never early. It shows up exactly when it means to. Wow, that's really profound, spirit guides. I got like a lot of chills on that. So that's really exciting. And you know what's hilarious? I'm wearing a dress right now. I don't actually, like, I don't wear dresses. That's like unheard of. You can ask my mother. And I don't know why, but today I felt like, I don't know why, I need to wear like something a little more formal today. And I don't know, I just feel like if I had anything in my closet that was very Merlin-y or Gandalf-y, I'm currently wearing it. So that's kind of funny. So your overall energy is embracing this wise elder, the wise elder Gandalf-y, Merlin-y part of you, right? We all have that part inside of us. And in your conscious mind, you have this 3 of Cups, which is all about, it's about celebration, it's about harmony, it's about cooperation, it's teamwork, it's working together to build a better future, working together to build a better life, it's abundance, it's really positive energy. So in your conscious mind, it would appear, or at least the feeling that I'm getting is things are going well, but it's more like whatever's happening in your waking life, even if it's not favorable, the way in which you're navigating it is not only creating harmony for others, but it's also creating harmony within yourself, as in you are not dishonoring yourself with the choices that you're making to appease others. You're doing both. You're doing both is what I'm getting with this. And in your unconscious, we have the 3 of Wands, which is about exploring new ways of being. And so this is perhaps a skill that you've just started to tap into a bit more in your waking life. It's always been there. And maybe you are really comfortable in your hermit energy with certain things, but this reading is telling me that you have closed a cycle with something where it wasn't always easy before, and now you're looking at it now from this Gandalf perspective, and how you can do what's best not only for others but also yourself, and create kind of a symbiotic exchange, okay? And that's really hard. So that's amazing. That's really hard to do. Not, you know, as you can see in government, not a lot of people do it, right? Not a lot of people do it. And the fact that you're doing this for yourself, I guarantee you it's rubbing off on the people around you. And when that happens, that creates major change. So that is just nothing to snuff at, okay? And I am being guided before I pull the advice card to draw a clarity confirmation card around the conscious and the unconscious, because there may be a direction in which they would like me to speak a bit further. But this Hermit, I'm getting very much, I've been guided to share that to create kind of the example / relationship of the Hermit with wise counsel characters in like major stories that most of the population has heard of. And so I'm feeling very clear about that. So spirit guides are the highest truth and compassion. What is it that we need to be a little bit more focused on related to Hermit energy in the conscious and the unconscious mind? How can I provide more guidance for the highest good of all? Oh, that's really crazy. Excuse me, it's not crazy. It's just wow. It's shocking. Okay, so bottom of the deck here is Six of Swords. So we're moving on. We're moving on from something like Three of Swords energy to Nine of Pentacles energy. I'm also with this, I'm getting a hint of mystery. Not really sure which way the winds will blow. Not really sure if something's going to go in your favor or not. In your conscious mind, we have the Three of Wands. So I pulled that in your unconscious. So that tells me this is really on your mind, is this new beginning. Something brand new. Okay, you just closed out a cycle and now you're moving into some brand new territory. That's definitely a part of this message. I'm looking to see if I can get anything else with this card. And the main thing that sticks out to me are these two wands here that are kind of touching with these leaves. There is a growth happening I'm getting in a relationship. There's growth happening in a relationship of some kind. There's growth happening in a creative relationship of some kind. Where two entities, two people, two institutions, two whatever, fill in the blank for you, are leaning on each other for support. Okay, that's what I'm getting. Because these two wands are kind of literally leaning on each other for support. This purpley pink is sticking out to me. Like the sunset. Like a sunset is really sticking out to me. I'm not sure if that means anything to you. Exploring uncharted territory. Okay, that's basically what I got with this. I'm gonna write that down too. I'm gonna type exploring uncharted territory, which is really what the Three of Wands is all about. Now, in your unconscious, the confirmation I got for you was judgment. Judgment. So judgment is a major arcana card. And that would tell me, let me see really quick. What is the order of major arcana cards? I kind of want to look. I don't know why I'm being guided to. Okay, so judgment. Oh, wow. Judgment is right before the world, you guys. So the world is the end of the major arcana. There are 21 major arcana cards, and judgment is the one right before. You're just doing lots of cycle closing. There's lots of cycles that are being closed right now. And I think that there's this new land that's on your mind, this new unexplored idea, new unexplored project, new unexplored relationship, new unexplored, could literally be a place if you just move somewhere. There's something new, and at this moment you are, I'm looking at the energy this card is giving me today. The butterflies are really standing out to me. You are transforming into a butterfly, essentially, is what I'm getting. You are, with all of these cycles that are being closed, you are really rising up into this Nine of Pentacles energy, which is, I mean, this is like butterfly energy, okay? This is like, you're not in that cocoon anymore. You're out. I'm coming out, I want the world to know. Okay? So I think the Judgment here, because with Judgment, it's about making choices. And I'm being guided to say, kind of like that one story that I had spoke about last week, Good, Bad, Who Knows, if you remember. And on Google, it was known as the Chinese farmer story. I need to see if that is actually the name. I don't know the name. If you know the name, tell me the name in the comments. I would love that. Thank you so much. Also, if this reading resonates with you in any way, shape, or form, please like, please share. I would love it if I could receive your energy so that these readings could be a reflection of your energy. There's cliffs in this, which is interesting because in the Three of Wands, there's a cliff here. Scaling. I'm getting like scaling new heights. And it... oh boy. I'm seeing like these musical notes here, and what I'm being reminded of is, so there was a teacher that I had met recently and they had shared about how, what is it? When you're creating, when you are performing music, there isn't a right or wrong. So kind of like Good, Bad, Who Knows, right? There's just choices. And it's not, when you're performing, it's not always about the outcome, kind of like in our reality. Sometimes in our reality, I think we can get really bogged down with the mundane details of survival. Because sometimes that takes up a lot of our headspace, and for a good reason sometimes. However, when that doesn't need to take up our headspace, when we can be ourselves, and when we can create, and when we can do the things that really tug at our soul, the work that we're really wanting to give to the world from an authentic place, when you're choosing what notes to play, kind of like this flautist here. I mean, do you really think that this flautist is analyzing the notes to a degree that they want to be perfect at playing this flute? I don't think so. I mean, they're dancing with their cat and this butterfly, and they are playing whatever notes hit their soul in a way that's how they want to express it to the world, right? And that, I think, is the new land. I think that is the uncharted territory, is that maybe in the past you have been really focused on getting it perfect, getting it right. And now in your unconscious mind, there's beginning to be this percolation of, what if I were to just do what I wanted to do, when I wanted to do it, as it spoke to me organically? And in order to do that, this is absolutely imperative, because you cannot access flow without stillness, you guys. Even if you're doing something like that isn't still, for example, like playing tennis, that's one of the ways in which I can access a flow state, is if I'm just really in the zone, and even though I'm technically not still, I'm not lying down in Shavasana with my eyes closed, my body is very much like ready, like very dynamic, like I am zeroed in on that ball. I am zeroed in on the tennis ball. And that in turn creates stillness in my mind. And I'm not thinking about, I am thinking about how to hit the ball in a certain way so that it's difficult for the opponent, but it's not regimented. It's not, when I'm in the moment and I'm really zoned in on the like tennis ball, the work I've already done, the practice I've already done speaks for itself in the moment, you guys. It's not like, here's this manual and I'm reading this manual while I'm playing the game. My mind is silent. My body knows where to go already. My body knows where to go. Just like playing music. It's not so much about making sure your choices are perfect. It's more about just making the choice when it hits your intuition and just going for it, you know? There is a movie, I think it was also a book. It was called The Peaceful Warrior. It's like an older movie. Peaceful Warrior, let me look. Peaceful Warrior movie. Oh my gosh, when was this released? 2006. And I think about this movie when I'm talking about this is, I believe he's a gymnast, if I remember. And in order to improve his skill, he is counseled to get still. And he's able to access more of his ability by relying and trusting what his body already knows. Someone needs to hear that. I wonder if there's a lot of like athletes / musicians, creatives. I actually think it's probably like a whole bunch of different type of individuals that have skill sets where it's like somewhat performative is what I'm getting, where you could get tripped up. Performative, not in a negative way. Performative, like legit performing something. Like you're playing tennis and people are watching you. You are doing gymnastics and people are watching you. You are playing a musical instrument and people are like, basically there is kind of this pressure, somewhat of a heightened sense of pressure in the fact that you are doing something in front of a group, and there are choices that you have to make to perhaps feel good about what it is you want to do. And something tells me that something about this is new for you. Something about this is new for you. It's not the way in which you're exploring this is not the way that you've done it before. And it has something to do with getting in this hermit energy. Okay, wow. Well, that's really cool. I'm going to go ahead and pull the advice card now. Oh, wow. So we have the 6 of Cups as your advice. And the 6 of Cups. So the first thing I think of is connecting back to your inner child. And when you're connecting back to your inner child, you know, your inner child is if you tap into that space in your head, I feel that playing the flute for them is more about having fun than about making sure it's perfect. And that reference I'm being asked to share so that you can apply it to what your situation is. Because perhaps in the past you've looked at things so seriously that you kind of let go of the reason you started. And the new land is coming back to that. The new land is coming back to this 6 of Cups energy. Okay? And I don't know so this is the Yamas and Niyamas book by Deborah Adele. And I took a 200-hour teacher training at Yoga North in Duluth. Deborah Adele is one of the founders of Yoga North. And she wrote this book, and it is widely read in the yoga community. It's widely used in teacher trainings. And today, for some reason, I was guided to pick this up and to pick a random selection and see how it applies to the message. So let's see here. Spirit guides of the highest truth and compassion, what is it that you would like me to share from this book related to this message for the highest good of all? This in the end here. Okay, so it's like very much near the end of this book. So the yama and niyamas, it's also known as the 8-limb path of yoga, and it's the crux of the yoga practice and what it is about, essentially. So some of these yama and niyamas, so like we have non-violence, truth, non-stealing, non-excess, non-possessiveness in the yama category. Niyamas, we have purity, contentment, self-discipline, self-study, and surrender. And so essentially, if you're practicing yoga, these are the 8 limbs that you want to have in mind in your practice in order to access like samadhi, in order to access like the highest potential enlightenment, etc., etc. And I don't know why, but they want me to read this page, so I'm going to read it. The fruits of the practice. I am always fascinated when a fresh new idea seems to hit human consciousness everywhere at once. It is almost like we as a race suddenly grew up and were ready to take in a new framework for understanding ourselves. I know this is true when the idea simultaneously appears in various books and even finds its way onto a bumper sticker. This quote by Jacqueline Small is an example of an idea previously unheard of hitting en masse. We are not, so this is the quote, we are not human beings trying to be spiritual. We are spiritual beings trying to be human. Ooh. This statement is quite profound as it shifts the direction of our eyes from looking upward to the heavens to focusing on our humanity here on earth. The question becomes, how do we live within the limits of a body and a place and a time? How do we get along with others and share their resources? How do we walk into the fullness of our humanity, creating and enjoying the many opportunities we have to experience life in all its forms and having as much delight in life as possible? Wow. How do we become skilled and masterful in our humanity? Like this. How do we access Gandalf energy in our humanity? In the practice of these ethical guidelines, we are steadily taken from self-centeredness to the perfection of humanness in its fullest expression. Ethical guidelines, yes. So the yamas and niyamas are the ethical guidelines. So with this passage, we are not human beings trying to be spiritual. I like that. We are spiritual beings trying to be human. Like, I mean, it all depends on what you believe and exactly how you want to frame it. But a lot of, I think when I was in college, I always remember there was this teacher that I had where he said that, like, religion, and I'm gonna say spirituality, okay, instead of religion. Spirituality is a sacred canopy, was the phrase that they would use. Because there are things in life that happen a lot of the time that are so big and intense, it would seem that there isn't a guidebook for how to navigate it. And that's part of the reason I'm drawn to tarot, is it helps me access the corners of my mind that maybe I'm not seeing because I'm so focused on an outcome, which is what this reading is all about. If I'm so focused on an outcome, I revoke my right to see it in a new way. I hold from myself the celebration of what is actually there and what is actually possible. And so if I see myself already today here with you out in the world, whatever, like when I'm going to take my child to daycare, when I'm going to yoga, when I'm going to help a friend, when I'm going to work, all of these things, if I see myself already as a spiritual being trying to be human, I'm never trying to convince myself, I'm never trying to put so much pressure on myself to make the right decision, because who I am already belongs and is accepted. Does that make sense? I feel like when the word spiritual versus human, there's a difference. For me, at least, there's a difference. If I see myself as my highest self, my highest spirit, I don't see myself really as fallible. But if I see myself as human, I see myself as fallible. And I'm going to go back to the Lord of the Rings on this one. Like Gandalf, he's a wizard, but I could think you could say it's arguable that he's a spiritual being. He's not like a dwarf. He's not like a hobbit. He's not like an elf. He's more of a kind of angelic, like a character that represents higher consciousness. And so if every one of us were to see ourselves as I'm trying to find the right word here, as emboldened in our higher consciousness, bringing that to humanity, how would that change things? How could that change how could that change the world? How could that change government? How could that change teamwork? How could that change innovation? How could that change leadership? Whew, there's like some really heavy energy here today. Not heavy, it's intense, it's powerful, it's groundbreaking is kind of the word I'm getting. Groundbreaking. Is there anything else? I'm just gonna look at this really quick. Yeah, the question becomes, how do we live within the limits of a body and a place and a time? How do we get along with others and share the resources? How could we do that differently when we embody this energy? How do we walk into the fullness of our humanity, creating and enjoying the many opportunities we have to experience life in all its forms? How do we become skilled and masterful in our humanity? It's kind of like, how do we live life from like this as our core? And how would that change our environment? I'm going to pull the wisdom of the oracle, because it seems like we need maybe just one little tidbit here. I feel like there's maybe just one other card or something that I can share with you that might help you in whatever it is you're facing right now, related to trying something new that you've never done before. Really embracing the core of who you are and leading from that perspective. I just saw 333 on my timing here, so I don't know if the number 3 means anything to you. Spirit guides of the highest truth and compassion, what else can we share with this collective of individual related to this message that has not been shared already for their highest good? Please and thank you. I just heard there's a time and a place. I don't know if that means anything to you. Ooh, peace. The number 23. We have peace. And we have imagine, which is very fitting, because this is all very much about, this message is a lot about imagining a different world. That's the energy that I'm getting. Imagining a different world, showing up as the Hermit, showing up in our Knight of Pentacles energy, and giving the world the best of us, giving the world the highest consciousness self, giving ourselves that and giving it to the world. And how can we change the world? And I'm thinking it's to create peace. So let's take a look at this. I don't believe I've actually read from the peace card yet, even though I've drawn it a couple of times. I have said the number 23 several times. That could mean something to you. I know that it's Michael Jordan's number. So essential meanings: freedom from attachment, radical acceptance. Yeah, freedom from attachment, right? That's what we were talking about, is not getting so hung up on the outcome, playing from the heart. That just came out, playing from the heart. The Oracle's message: it doesn't get any better than this. A quiet mind, a heart fulfilled, freedom from want, and the soul's satisfaction. Yeah, that's like a lot of what this energy feels like. And I just got a chill up the left side of my body. The way to peace is through radical acceptance. Everything in your world is exactly as it should be. Harmony is beautiful. Enjoy it. I feel like I need to read all these for some reason. They're very short. Relationship message: when two people are in true alignment with one another, they have an innate harmony between them. They are as two perfectly tuned instruments playing together. That's funny. We've been talking about music. Sometimes it's impossible to tell who is who. Peace is yours, and it is to be savored, which is interesting because the number 2 with this wands, I don't know, that could really apply to someone. Prosperity message: this is one of those times when you're capable of clear vision about your work and how you create your prosperity. Whatever you're doing, keep doing it. You're called by a presence to step into your power. Just being is enough. For you are in peaceful harmony with spirit, and it shows in your work. And the protection message: now is a time for calmness and well-being in spite of temporary conditions, even if there are dissonant notes in the music of your life. It's interesting. This is a lot about music. That could be a very big symbol for you. All that means is that you must go within and fine-tune the extraordinary instrument that you are, kind of like in the Peaceful Warrior. Find harmony within yourself and don't look to the outer world to provide certainty, right? This too shall pass, and once again your life will be filled with beautiful music. Wow, you guys. Okay, so this message today is a lot about letting go. It's a lot, and it's funny because I just did a reading not too long ago about letting go and surrender, so maybe take a look at that if you feel like you could use a message from spirit on that. So it's about radical acceptance, and it's about being still, knowing that you are perfect as you are, and that the choices that you make are just creative opportunities to explore something new. Okay? I am just so excited that you're watching this channel, because this is very important to me. This work, what we're talking about right now, it's how I try to live my life every day. And it's how I like to exchange my energy with people that are in alignment with the same values, kind of like the yamas and niyamas. So thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it greatly. If this message resonated with you in any way, shape, or form, please give it a like. And also, if you have anything to share related to this message, please write it in the comments, because I would just love to know what your thoughts are on this topic. So thank you for being here. I love you so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.